for coming on early too. We really appreciate that. And we have an exciting show for you. Welcome to NEPA Connects. So NEPA Connects, which is where we are now, is a program from NEPA where we highlight the work of our environmental partners. So today we're shining the light on UDC, the Urban Development Corporation. And today we have Sarah Simpson with us and we have Sean Townsend with us. And we're very excited to have both of them. Today we're going to be talking about Harmony Beach Park. Have you heard of Harmony Beach Park? Well, chances are you have. UDC has been pushing Harmony Beach Park right across social media. It's been in the press. And today what we want to do is to kind of find out what was involved in developing Harmony Beach Park in the back end. So the development process to get Harmony Beach Park to where it is now. How do we go about the permits? How do we go about the licenses? Did you have to work with NEPA closely? Was the process easy? All of that. So that's what we're going to be focusing on. So right now on your screen, you should be seeing Sarah and you should be seeing Sean. But from the NEPA side, we'll be joined later on. So either Sarah or Sean, they're going to just step away for a little bit. And Kayla Blake, an environmental officer here at NEPA, is going to join us to talk about the NEPA side of things. All of this is going to be very short, very spicy, very quick, and very engaging. And we definitely thank you once again for hopping on the live. It's 12 o'clock, so we know some of you might be having lunch. That's cool. Have your lunch, but stay on the live. All right? And if you could just drop in the comment section where you are, we'd love to see it. Let's know where you're joining the live from. If you're local, we're local. If you're overseas, we're overseas. We'd love to know where you're connecting from. All right? So, as we said, we're talking Harmony Beach Park today, Sarah. Yeah. We're going to start off with you, or Sean. Either of you can answer. But what we want to know is, what's the general nature of UDC and NEPA? So tell us a little bit about that relationship.
Okay, let me start off. Good afternoon to everybody on the live. First of all, I'd like to thank NEPA for inviting us to join today. As Sean had said earlier, it's our first live. So thank you for giving us this first opportunity. UDC, Urban Development Corporation, as the name suggests, we are a development agency on behalf of the government. And so we carry out a lot of development that are supposed to be catalysts for other types of development in urban spaces. So we have different designated areas across the island. Montego Bay is one of them, where Harmony Beach Park is located. So the relationship between UDC and NEPA has always been a very close one. You are our regulators, but we do have a very special relationship with NEPA in terms of, how we interact and how we collaborate on various things that we, and maybe that later on in the live I'll be able to talk more about that. But in terms of Harmony Beach Park, as I said, you are our regulators. So we had a good relationship going forward. It was an easy process for us to get through, as long as you meet all the requirements of the agency. I find NEPA one of the agencies that we really like to work with.
Awesome, Sarah. Thanks so much. All right, so I realize that everybody's doing it right so far. You're dropping your comments in the comment section, and we love that too. So if you have a question, you can write it. We'll try and address it later on. But definitely, we still want to hear where you're joining us from, so we can kind of know who's in the space right now, so we can better interact with you. Some people are asking about rural development, but we're talking with UDC, so they'll probably tell us a little bit about that. But
and Sarah, so before right, so I just wanted to also say that not because we're a development agency, we also have a very strong conservation arm and corporate environmental social responsibility. So a lot of all the projects that we do, all of the activities that we do, we have to ensure that environmental considerations are integrated into them. So just like Harmony Beach, for all the projects that we do. So that's why we always have to have a very close relationship with NEPA.
Great stuff. Thanks so much. All right. So now we're going to go into Harmony Beach Park. What's happening there? Tell us about Harmony.
Over to you, Sean.
Well, I think Harmony Beach may be a new name to many people because this is formerly what was referred to as Dump Up Beach or Close Harbor Beach in Mobay. So many people in that area and even internationally are familiar with the area. So as part of our goal of creating a sustainable city, this was one of the key initiatives that we carried out to develop a public space that everybody could use and interact with. So it was very key to us that it was supposed to be a free and open space, but having the opportunity for more economic opportunities. So for instance, there are kiosks there. There are several recreational spaces, not only just the beach. There's a multi-use course, not just basketball. So basketball, netball. I think it can even be converted to be used for tennis and so forth. There are children play areas. There's adequate restrooms and changing rooms so that persons can have full use of the facility. So it's an opportunity for both the public to relax and enjoy different activities, but there are also opportunities for entrepreneurs that would want to utilize some of the kiosks that are also available at the park.
Great. And just for those who are not familiar, Sean, where is the beach park?
So it's located at the end of what is now called Jimmy Cliff Boulevard. So that intersects with Howard Cook Boulevard at the stoplight. So the entrance is around that area. Another landmark to use is KFC. Jamaicans, know where KFC
everybody
is.
knows KFC. So it's in Montego Bay. Montego Bay. And for those who are
right across from the KFC.
So Montego Bay, St. James on that side of the island,
hip strip,
right?
Yeah.
Great, the hip strip. Yeah, thanks so much. And the development process to get Harmony Beach Park to where it is now. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
All right. So as I said, it stemmed from a bigger initiative, which is a sustainable city or the One Bay plan. And so UDC found it prudent to accelerate this entity. There were several factors that led up to the development. And there is so much thing to say that
let me just jump in here, Sean. Well, the UDC, when we are doing any development, we have a whole technical services department that that we look at the whole concept, from the concept to the design, right through all the way to the end. And of course, stakeholder involvement is very critical, was very critical in this whole process. So at every step of the game, we'd have like interactions with the different stakeholders in Montego Bay, to get their feedback, what they'd like to see at the park, what was the feel. And I love to say that it's the first of its kind in Jamaica. It's a green space that's on a beach. You couldn't want it any better than that. So you have a park that's on a beach. So we had it was a very iterative process, very inclusive. We had, as I said, a lot of stakeholder input, and I am just so excited for when it's going to be open so that the public, could actually get the feedback now as to did we execute it in the exact way that you wanted us to execute it. But I believe that we have. So, I am just really, just unfortunate that we're in a COVID time, that we were not able to open it on the March 3rd that we had anticipated. But I'm really excited for the park to be open, and so that the city of Montego Bay can have a green space to enjoy.
Great. And it sounds like the followers here are excited too. I see people saying they can't wait. Wait for Harmony to open. They can't wait to go there. Yeah. And something you said a while ago, Sarah, it's very important to a lot of our followers here and your followers too, which is the need for more green space in development. And you said that you can't get greener than that. It's a beach park. Yes. Right?
And a park. And a park.
Right. So yeah, it's a beach park. It's a park on a beach.
On a beach.
Yeah, we love that.
Yes.
So in terms of somebody asked who were the owners of the beach park before, have you always owned the property?
Yes, we've always owned the property.
Okay.
Well, the UDC, we've been around since the 1960s, late 1960s, and this was one of the monumental projects that the UDC did in the 1970s, where we created these 3 crescent-shaped beaches on the Montego Bay waterfront. So this is one of the 3 that we had created from so long ago.
Well, thanks for that, because many of our followers probably wouldn't know about the 3 crescent-shaped beaches in Montego Bay.
Yeah, so we developed the waterfront.
Basically, right?
Right, basically, yes.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Now, in terms of how persons can, so the park hasn't been opened yet.
No.
When was your initial opening date?
I believe it was the 3rd of March. It was supposed to be open on the 3rd of March, 2nd of March. I'm not sure. The first week in March there, yes, right.
Okay.
But then because of the COVID restrictions, we had to delay.
I got you. Yeah. Sarah and Sean, in terms of a beach park like this that you want Jamaicans to benefit from, but it hasn't been opened as yet, how do you want persons to support Harmony Beach Park? In what way, shape, or form? What are you hoping to get out of this?
Well, Sean? The easiest way and one of the best ways to continue the dialogue and to have persons excited, because there's lots of, as you had mentioned before, there's been a lot of social media posting and publicity about the park, so people can stay tuned and see when exactly it will be open to the public and what opportunities have been. I mean, despite the fact that it hasn't been officially open, the management has been engaged in different stakeholders, and they've gotten a little peek, tour the opportunities of seeing what is there. We have been working on the site and see passerbys looking through and peeping through the fence to see exactly what is there and then posting about it. So, continue that kind of energy and leading up to the excitement of the official opening would be great.
Okay. Yes, and I just saw somebody post here, what is the entrance fee? I just like to plug here, it is a free park. There's no entrance fee.
Entrance fee.
Yes.
Sarah, how the free the spell? Spell it out.
Free. Free. FREEEEE.
No money.
No money.
What?
No money for entrance, but of course, it has to be sustainable at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I realize that you have been inviting persons to have shops there and so on. So you are going to have
commercial activity. Yes,
right.
Commercial activity.
Commercial activity there in the space.
Yeah, of
right.
course.
So it doesn't get more inviting than that. Free, beach park.
A park
on the beach.
Right, which is free.
Which is free.
Yes.
Yeah. We love that. So we're talking to Sarah Simpson, the Director of Natural Resource Management and Environmental Planning at the Urban Development Corporation. And we're also talking to Sean Townsend, the Manager for Natural Resource Management and Environmental Planning. So these persons have been integral in the development of Harmony Beach Park. And we're gonna ask one of you now to just make way for Kayla Blake. But basically, what our followers are saying, they're excited. They're excited about Harmony Beach Park. And the people them say them tired of the restrictions, Sarah.
Yes, we're all tired of it. We're all tired. And even this COVID time, it has shown the importance of having a place to go, which is outdoors, open air, where you can just relax and, just get your mind at ease. It is so important. It is so important. I think COVID has really propelled that whole need for green space, the importance of green spaces, especially in urban settings.
And this time.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to make way for Kayla now, and we're going to be talking more about the development process behind the scenes, some of the concerns that NEPA had when you came to us and said, hey, we want to develop a beach park in Montego Bay, right? So what I'm going to do is, Sarah, I think, who was more involved in the development? Sean?
Sean was the person on the ground.
All right, Sarah. So thank you so much.
Can I come back and plug? I have some things to plug.
Absolutely. You can. All right. Give me a second. So let's get Kayla Blake. Let's get Kayla Blake in the room here. We're gonna get Kayla here in a second. Okay. So Kayla, stand by. Come up on the stage and join Sean. You should be seeing the invitation, Kayla. So Sean, people have some big questions right now about this development. In terms of what were some of the sustainable development concerns that UDC had?
All right,
what
so
were you most concerned about?
We were concerned, one of the major things that we were concerned about was preserving the environmental integrity of the space, as well as the social interaction, because we know that there's been a cry for many years about Jamaicans having access to nice beaches. And so this was one of those opportunities to fulfill one of those charges. I see somebody here talking about planting trees at the site. That was also very important. So we worked with the existing conditions of the beach and identified trees that were very important to be retained. And so the designers had to work around that to ensure that the trees were there. Because we're talking about trees that have been growing from the 1960s, 1970s. So these are large trees and stuff, and to just take them out like that would have not been, too environmentally sound. So that was a big deal. So a landscaping and the design and locating buildings and so forth was a big issue, so that was one of the challenges that our architects had. Ensure that Montego Bay is suffering from a big erosion problem. So we also had to ensure that we were not contributing to that as well. So the development, taking into consideration the setback limits that NEPA has set, that was absolutely important that those were, that they were maintained and adhered to, and in some instances, even going further than what was required, because, we have to kind of future-proof and think about what climate change going to result in and those future changes and things like that. I see Kayla smiling, so she agrees with me. So those kind of things like that were very important. The type of tree, so the landscaping primarily was to retain as many of the trees that were existing on the property already. Second thing was that anything that we were going to introduce had to be native. It had to be sustainable, because a lot of the times people go on to get ornamental plants and they think that, oh, this is pretty, so let's just put it here. But then they don't think about the maintenance of it. Can it survive in this environment? Because we're talking about a green space, and we also want it to be green, not just literally green, but green in terms of all concept of what green is. And that includes how much water you're gonna use, how much light you're gonna need on the property, and so forth. So we look for species that didn't require a lot of water, that was very conducive to the environment. They were already there. We weren't introducing anything new, so stuff like that. All of that went into the whole planning and design of the park.
Sean, you have done a great job of basically introducing Kayla. and we thank you so much, because Sean, you've mentioned a lot of the things that our followers here in the comment section are talking about. Trees, the place look hot. What are some of the concerns that UDC had? And we really love to see that this was something that you guys thought through, right? From start to finish. We're very excited about that. Kayla, you've shown up and you're wearing your Friday glasses, but it's Thursday. But welcome to our live. We love your Friday glasses, Kayla. So we're talking to Kayla Blake now, and Kayla is one of our environmental officers at NEPA, But then Kayla is also a marine biologist and so many other things. It gets complicated really quickly, right?
Indeed.
But today we're going to be talking to Kayla because she works in the applications processing branch. And she's going to tell us the role of the branch in relation to Harmony Beach Park. So that's the first thing, Kayla. Talk to us about applications.
Okay.
For Harmony.
Hi, everybody. So applications processing branch is a part of the larger division, applications management division. So basically what it is that you have a development process and you make applications for prospective developments. So the applications processing branch, or APB, we are the technocrats that will actually go through these applications and ensure that they're up to standard, following all the regulations, laws, guidelines. And then we basically make a recommendation to the relevant committees and eventually the board to recommend whether the project should be approved or refused. But just to point out that the board, the NRCA, and the TCPA make the final decision on all applications.
Excellent. So what you're basically saying to us, Kayla, is without the applications processing branch, we probably would not have Harmony Beach Park. And so, and you're going to go into a little bit more about that. Why are all applications approved? So people across Jamaica apply for permits and beach licenses. So for example, a beach park like Harmony Beach Park would require a beach license.
Correct.
Now, are all applications for permits, environmental permits and beach licenses approved by the board, by the agency?
Well, I definitely say no. So we do refuse applications. That is based on if you're not meeting the standards, setbacks as Sean had mentioned, all the guidelines that were put out for coastal modification, etc., then it would be recommended for refusal. So in the case of Harmony Beach, actually, they came in to our Development Assistance Center, which is cutting edge technology at NEPA. So basically, you just pay a fee of $5,000 and you get to sit in a room with most of the stakeholders in the regulatory agencies in Jamaica. So JAMPRO, NWC, UDC, whoever is relevant, NEPA will get them on the board and put your proposed development in front of them, get some feedback. So when you're actually going to your conceptualization team, your architects, etc., they know exactly what to do. And that's what UDC did. And they do it for most of their projects, and they generally have no issues going through the actual applications process. So that's where it started in the NEPA process.
Excellent. Now, Kayla, you mentioned that if it doesn't meet the criteria, then a recommendation can be made for refusal. But I've personally noticed something about the applications that have been approved. Usually you see something that says permit granted or license granted with stipulated conditions.
Correct.
So what does that mean? So if you grant something with stipulated conditions, what does that mean?
Okay, so basically when your application is approved, if it is approved, you will get a permit or a license. It's a legal document. In that document, you have the details of the description of the activity. So what it is the project is about. You would have the category, the applicant's name, etc. And this is also available for the public to access through our ATI Act. The permittee or licensee now, they have a list of conditions. We have two sections, general and specific. So based on the project's category, those specific conditions will tell you exactly how to operate your beach. This covers safety, especially for our beaches, activity, recreational use, how to treat wildlife, what you can install. So like some of your beaches have like umbrellas, cabanas, etc. What kind of water sports or activities you can have on the beach. So it gives the permittee or licensee a complete list of conditions too, and you're held accountable to this because we do monitor.
So what I'm hearing from you, Kayla, thanks so much, is that even though you said to UDC, Go and build Harmony Beach Park in Montego Bay. It wasn't a free-for-all. So they couldn't just go down to Montego Bay and do anything that they wanted to do. You gave them, or the agency gave them guidelines. And I love that you went as granular and as plain as to like what water sports you can have on there and what you can do on the beach, and because that's very important, right? So that brings me to my next question now, and my final question for you, Kayla, as we're wrapping up this live. Guys, thanks so much for staying with us. Very excited that you're here. If you have seen Harmony Beach Park, even a glimpse of it, you can just let us know what you think about it in the comment section. Does it look good? Do you think they did a good job? Are you excited about going there? Let us know in the comment section, right? We'd love to hear from you. Now, Kayla, final question to you. Apart from a UDC, so we don't want to just talk to those who are the big organizations. How can Jamaicans be better involved in the development process?
Okay, that's a very good question. And I'm glad for...
And I'm going to ask Sean that same question too. The final question for both of you before Sarah come back. And we wrap up.
Okay, so basically...
So how can Jamaicans be involved in the development process? Yeah.
Sure, Travis. Okay, so just call our number. I'm not sure if Travis said it, but it's 754-7540. And you're, depending on what you want, if you want to go straight to make an application or you would like to use our Cutting Edge Development Assistance Center, DAC for short, you just ask for that department, or you can ask for Application Secretariat branch. So basically these two branches guide a potential developer on what they need to make an application, right? As I said, DAC gets a preview to sit down with all the regulators, and you definitely know what you need to do. So Application Secretariat, they'll basically just tell you the documents you need to submit. Additionally, I would say to anybody who is a prospective developer, we have a lot of documentation on our website. So I'm going to point you to our website, which is www.nepa.gov.jm. We have a section called Our Work, and publications under that. You'll find all of our guidelines, the regulations, the laws, the guideline documents that allow you to make these applications. So, and don't be afraid to call. Just call 754-7540.
Kayla, excellent. Yeah, you did well. Because, and you see, followers, we want you to know that the agency remains open in different ways. So if you can't call and get through to NEPA, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, obviously, because we are live on Instagram right now. We're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, right? So, and we have our website, as Kayla mentioned, www.nepa.gov.jm. So if you can't call us and get us, send us a message on any of our social media channels. I had a guy reach out to us, Kayla and Sean, and you don't need to know the technical terms, guys. That's what we're saying. I had a guy reach out to us on Facebook, and the man said, listen, I have one deck in my yard run a back. I want to know how we can develop one beach lookout. So, one patio decking. I want a boat. We can get a boat in my backyard, and he's down by the Bull Bay section, right? So he didn't know about the technical terms about what was needed to do the development, but the man knew that he wanted to have a boat in his backyard, and he wanted something like a pier. And he just sent us the message on Facebook, and we were able to get in touch with the different branches, just like we have done here, and get him some feedback. Let the man know how he can get a boat in his backyard, or if he can get a boat in his backyard. Sean, over to you though. How can Jamaicans be more involved in the development process?
Yes, that's an easy one. But before I answer that, I wanted to touch on something that Kayla said before about us getting the conditions. And on the face of it, it looks like a very arduous task. It looks like a bag of work. But in the long run, it is worth it, because we wanted Harmony Beach to be something that was iconic, something that the rest of the world can look onto and see how something can be done sustainably. So when we looked at the conditions, we use those to guide our programs, because it doesn't just stop at just building the park, because we're also going to manage the park. So we looked at it to use it to guide our program. So we have our water quality monitoring program, which is ongoing. It started before we opened the park, while we developed the park, and it shall continue post the park. All right. And that is also a condition of what NEPA would have prescribed to us anyway. But we use that information to strengthen our program. So we didn't look at it as an obstacle, but we looked at it as an opportunity to make and enhance our development. So in terms of the public getting involved in national development, because that's what we do, is that you look at the process where there are always stakeholder engagement. And UDC took it a step further. We did an environment and social impact assessment, and that heavily dependent on stakeholder involvement. And we contracted a consultant because we didn't want people to feel that we were intimidating or bullying them or I use those words jokingly, of course. We didn't want to influence what people think. We wanted the real thing on the ground to understand what are the issues, how can we solve them. So we had a consultant go out, they did community visits, there were town hall meetings. Even after they did their first draft of the document, that they had town hall meetings with the people in Montego Bay and other stakeholders, so that we could get their views and opinion of to what is important. We've even, subsequent to that, we talked about our entrepreneurial opportunities. Even those were done on social media. There were actual online sessions where people who were interested could ask questions and see how to go about applying to utilize these kiosks. So there are many opportunities. And even from what you said, use our social media handles. I mean, we're UDCJA, and I think UDC Jamaica on all platforms. So we're easy to find. You can call our offices as well and give us information. You don't need the technical terms. I mean, for instance, if you call our office and you say anything that is related to environment, the operator doesn't even have to understand. They're just going to send it to us. We will figure out what you need and help you. And they also, as Kayla said before, direct you to who is relevant. If we are not the ones to help you, then we direct you to where our other government partners are who can assist you. So there are many opportunities to get the opinions of the public.
Absolutely brilliant, Sean. Thanks so much. Thanks to Sean Townsend, Manager, Natural Resource Management and Environmental Planning at the Urban Development Corporation, and Kayla Blake, Environmental Officer, Marine Biologist Extraordinaire, all of those fancy things. Kayla, thank you so much. Guys, we really appreciate you jumping on the live with us. We're basically finished, but I know Sarah said she wanted to say goodbye to all of you. It seems she has a special. Is it that she has a prize? Sarah, do you have a prize for our followers?
I don't have a prize right now, but I just wanted to, first of all, thank you, Travis, again for having us, on, and for all the persons who joined the live. We focused a lot on Harmony Beach Park, but I just like to remind the public that we have several other attractions that the public can visit. If they want to have to go somewhere that is a government-run attraction. Of course, we have Reach Falls, Duns River Falls, Green Gutter Caves, Orchards Bay Beach. Some of them are closed, however, because of COVID, but some of them are actually open. Walter Fletcher Beach. In Montego Bay, we have Long Bay Beach Park, in the Grill, Bluefields Beach. And so I'd like to just put it out there that, there are several other places that you can visit. Harmony Beach Park, of course, is our very new on the block attraction, and we can't wait for it to be opened. And I just invite the public to just continue to help us to promote the beach park, and to come out and enjoy it. And of course, Travis, I'd love to come back on another live with NEPA to talk about the Goat Island Wildlife Sanctuary that we're collaborating with the agency on. So again, thank you, and I wish everybody a safe rest of the day, and thank you again, NEPA. We love working with
Sarah, look here. Don't be a stranger.
I
invited you to my house today. I
Right.
invited you to my house today. I am
Right.
open to coming over to at UDC Jamaica
Okay.
anytime you're ready.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. Yes,
Guys,
and
thank you so much for joining us. Really happy that you could join us for your lunchtime. If you haven't had lunch yet, now is your time to go and have lunch. And please follow NEPA Jamaica on all social media channels and UDC Jamaica on all social media channels.
yes.
Thanks so much, guys, and enjoy the
Okay.
rest of your day.